Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And in this video we're going to continue our track design. Yeah, I've gone ahead and added a little bit more from the last video just to try to speed things up a little bit. The last video is definitely way too long, and I know you guys aren't watching it all the way through, so it takes me a while to edit and put that stuff out on video, out on YouTube. So I'm just going to try to keep them a little bit shorter. But as you can see here, I'm going to have to install 3 lift gates. I've got this one here in front of the folding doors, the closet doors. I've got one here in front of the entrance into the room from the outside, and I've got this other side entrance here, so I'm going to have to put one in here. Now, if you remember, my layout's actually going to be 2 levels, so I've got an ascending and descending helix here, which will take me up and to the 2nd level and bring me back down. So basically I'm going to have to double these lift gates. So I'm going to have a total of 6 lift gates. This room here is definitely not the best room to work with, for a layout, but I think we can get it to work. But what I also have here is these blue lines right here. These are the lines that denote my backdrop, which is hardboard. And so as you can see, I've kind of split this peninsula right down the middle, so I can have some track on this side and some track on this side as well, hoping to lengthen my scaled miles so that I can try to model that 10.5 miles that I was looking at. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do here is if we zoom in here, you can see I've got these orange solid lines here. These are what's going to be the edge of the plywood to support the helix. And as you can see here, I've got this hidden track in the back here. Now this is going to enable me to stay on the same level. Right now I just have a circle drawn, but it'll enable me to have a continuous run on the same level without having to go up or down the helix. So or in this case go up the helix. So I'm just going to start by drawing a polyline. If you remember, the command for polyline is PL. Turn my cap locks on there so you can see it a little better. So I'm going to draw a polyline. I'm just going to start right here, and I don't know, let's click about in here, and let's go ahead and click down here. And I think what I might try to do here is I might try to come through the backdrop here and come out on this side here, and maybe something about like that. And I'm just going to leave that open for right now. So up here on the turnaround on the peninsula, it's 5 feet in diameter. So let me just draw a circle. So C for circle. And it's asking me to specify the center point. You can see the little crosshair pop up there, which is the center or the radius point for the peninsula. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to type in it's asking me to specify radius. You see down here. So if I know if that's 2.5 foot radius on the peninsula or 5 foot diameter, I'm just going to type in 2. There we go. So let me just go ahead and draw that tangent to that circle there, and then we can come back in here and do I'm just going to go ahead and not attach that just yet, but just try to get some more track drawn in here. Thinking something kind of like this maybe. Okay, yeah, let's try that right there. So I do have a couple of there's some design criteria that I have for my layout. One of them being the minimum radius that I'm willing to go down to would be 20 inches. So, and I'd rather maintain at least 22 or 24, but 20 would be the minimum. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to see, with this interior angle here, that's 83 degrees. Okay, so oh, by the way, that command I just did, it's DC for dimension corner. Then I click on each line and it gives me the angle there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to issue the Phillip command. So I'm going to type in F for Phillip. And down here you can see these are the options I have. So I'm going to give it a radius. So I'm going to type in R. And then I'm going to specify the radius. So, 24 inches would be a 2-foot radius, right? So let's go ahead and try 2 feet and see what that looks like. And that looks pretty good actually. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that, get it back to the just the straight lines. I'm going to see what a 22-inch radius would look like. So I'm going to type in F for Phillip again, R to specify the radius, and I know that in tenths of a foot that 22 inches would be 1.66, I believe. Let's check that out on the calculator. So remember it was number of inches, which is 22, times 0.083. No, it's 1.83, excuse me. So let's do the Phillip command, specify the radius, 1.83, and that might be a little bit better there. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this part right here, let's try to make it like a greater radius. How about, let's try 4 foot and see what that looks like. Okay, that's pretty nice. You got a nice sweeping curve there. It's almost kind of a well, what they call an easement in railroad, but in engineering, we call it a spiral. But it's a nice smooth transition. But let's see. Let's go ahead and attach this up here. So I want to attach that to where it's, as you can see there, my cursor, you can see a little circle up here. That means it's tangent, and if you wait long enough the little tool tip will pop up and tell you. So that doesn't look tangent, but that's what it said. Let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and trim. So I'm going to issue the TR command and trim between these two entities that I just selected. And so we have that. Now this right here might be a little tight. We'll try a 20-inch radius, which that would be 1.66. Let's undo that, Control Z, and let's just use the grip edit and pull this node back a little bit, maybe somewhere in there. Let's try that again, 1.66. Okay, and then maybe let's try a radius of 3 on this right here. It's not too bad. Could probably do some type of spur or something coming off here, some type of some type of industrial setting. So we'll keep that in mind. Again, this is all really just kind of preliminary. It's just tentative. So right now, what my goal is to see about how many square miles that I've got, for the first level. I'm going to bring this up to where it's tangent, touching that. We'll go ahead and give this we can give this here a big radius. So these two lines here. So I'm thinking probably even 20 feet. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, nice big radius there. Okay, here we could probably do the same thing. Let's just see what 15 looks like. 15 won't work. Let's go with 10. There we go. Okay, so this right here is going to be a little bit awkward. Let me try a radius of 20 inches on this down here. Okay, well that works. I probably really could have gone 20 inches total there. You can see it put in just a little bit of a straight line here, but we can fix that later. So let me go ahead and just grip edit this and extend this a little bit more that way. Draw a polyline from the end of there, and let's go ahead and just kind of do something like this, really what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get tangent lines drawn in here, and then I'll come back and use that Phillip command. And when you use the Phillip command, it draws it not only does it fit the curve in between two tangents, but you know it makes the tangent, well, it makes the lines tangent to the circle, or when it fits the circle in between the two tangents, it fits it in there to where the lines are tangents. What I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna grip edit this up a little bit, and we could probably get in a nice. Let's see what 30 inches would be. That would be. It's 2.5, so let's go ahead and 2.5. See what that would look like. That looks pretty good actually. Okay, so come in here, and here I'm going to work on these two. I can give those a big radius too, so let's go ahead and try 20 again and see what that looks like. I might shorten that up a little bit just because you can see here I don't have much of a straight line here to work with in trying to create a curve between this tangent and this tangent. So let me undo that, and let's do the Phillip command again. Let's make it a radius of say 10. There we go. Yeah, you can see that line's a little longer now. Okay, so let's try a radius of say 5 feet here. Okay, and then all we have left is this right here. You know, I may even be able to, let's try this. Well, no, let's redo that. This is something you got to really, you know, just work around. And this probably won't be my final design here. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to get an idea for my scaled miles. So I don't have much of a straight line there to work with. I'm going to give it a 5-foot radius just simply because this line and this line are tangents. They're close to being on the same line, so you can go with a greater radius. Yeah, it's not going to work. Okay, let's try 3. Still not going to work. Okay, let's do this. Let's undo everything. Okay, and let's bring this down like that. And now you can see it messed up my tangent here, but for right now you can get it, you can grip edit it and get it pretty close to where this is going to be tangent to this curve here. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm going to take this, I'm just going to make this track here straight instead of putting this little break in here. There we go. Now let's do a radius of say 3 feet. Yeah, something like that would be good. Same thing here, 3 feet. It gets it close to that edge. Let's see what that distance would be. So the command for dimensioning is DA for dimension aligned. Let's go from there to there, and we have about 2 inches, right? It would work. It's not ideal, but we'll put something up there to keep anything from falling off the top. So here, all I've got left now is just this right here. So I'm just going to give it a big radius. Let's give it like, I don't know, 30 feet. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, good. Alright, so that would be that. Now what I'm going to do is trim. I'm going to trim between this line here and this line here. So TR for the trim command, select both of the cutting edges, right click, and then select the edge you want to trim off. There we go. So now let's just bring this, grip edit this down to the end of there. It's going to have to be changed a little bit. You can tell the way this curve's coming in, and you got like a kink here. This line, this white line's not tangent to that. We'll leave that for right now. Like I said, I just want to try to get an idea of what my scaled miles is going to be. So I'm just going to select that. Let me back up here. So the command to join polylines is PE for P-edit. and then it's asking me down here specify polyline, so we'll select this one, and then I'm going to type in J to join, and we want to select the one we just selected as our starting lines, and select this one and this one, and then finally we'll select the curve, the hidden track in the back, and there we go. You can see now we have a continuous run here for the main line. So if you look down here, the total length of all that comes to 75.6. So if we look at our calculator here and take 75.6 and multiply that times you know, the scale for HO, which is the scale I'm modeling in, is you know, one foot equals 87 feet. So since we have 70.6 feet, I'm going to multiply that times 87. And that gives me 6,577 scaled feet. So let's convert that to miles by dividing that by 5,280. And there we go. So for our lower level, we have about 1¼ miles, scaled miles. So really, you know, we could probably double that for the upper and lower level. So it looks like I'll be able, scaled miles, I'm about 2.5. So if you remember from our formula, you know, we've got this value here, we just figured it out, 2.5. And the number, the total miles that I wanted to model, if you remember, was the 10.5 miles. So what I'm going to do is take that 2.5, divide that by 10.5, and subtract that from 1, and that'll give me the compression ratio. So let's take just all in one line here. Let's clear it. 1 minus, remember the formula. Let me put this formula back up here. So 1 minus, and then I'm going to put a parenthesis, inner parentheses in here. Whoops, not there. So give the calculator program focus there. Okay, so 1 minus, and then starting the parenthesis is be 2.5, and then divided by 10.5. So that gives me a compression ratio of 76%. I convert that and multiply that times 100. So 76%. So that's more than I want to compress. Personally, I don't like to get up above, to me 60's really pushing it. So we're going to have to change something in what I can actually model. So this video is probably getting pretty long. I'm going to cut it here, and I'll shoot another video, and we'll pick up from where we're leaving off. So until then, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.